We've all been in sticky situations before. Sometimes you just kind of have to improvise your way out of them. You get sucked into a bad conversation at work, fake a phone call. Stuck in a boring dinner party, make up an emergency.
I just got a message from my landlord. Apparently my apartment flooded. Something with the sprinkler.
Oh, no.
Pam, we should probably get going and see the damage.
Oh, okay.
Well, you don't need two of you to do that.
That's true. Dinner sounded delicious. Pam, I'll see you at home. Thank you so much.
And for Joe Biden, things weren't really going too well for him when he sat down with MSNBC at like 11 on a Friday night. He was striking out softball after softball.
Well, they're going to see bridges that didn't exist before that were shut down. You're going to see, for example, you're going to be able to get an Amtrak, and instead of going through the tunnel of Baltimore at 30 miles an hour because nothing's been done under the Chesapeake Bay under the Baltimore River, the Baltimore area for 80 years.
Huh? I don't know what he just said. And things went so south that Joe had to be rescued. Watch.
You talk about fighting for the soul of America, but can we level set in terms of the soul of America? Right now, hate crimes are on the rise, random acts of gun violence. Women are under attack. Mr. President?
I'll do one. The answer is yes, because that's why we cannot let this election be one where the same man who was president 4 years ago becomes president again.
Have you ever seen White House staffers jump in the middle of an interview like that? The anchor was just rattling off a list of bad things happening under Joe Biden. Hate crimes on the rise, gun crimes on the rise, attacks on women on the rise. And the White House staffer said, you can't do that, sorry. Can't do what exactly? Ask the President of the United States a question about the country? Now, today I spoke with people who've been in the room during presidential sit-down interviews under Trump, under Obama, under Bush. And a White House staff member cutting off a journalist in the middle of a question to the president is unheard of. What kind of corrupt arrangement are we witnessing here? And the staff couldn't even save Biden. He went on to confuse Obama with Trump. Are they trying to stop the question from being asked? Or are they trying to stop the president from answering it? I don't know. And it happened twice during the interview. Later, staff tried to cut the president of the United States off from answering a question about Hunter Biden. And we'll have more on that later in the show. Now, if Biden can't make it through an interview with MSNBC without help, how is he going to make it another 4 years?
It is fair to say that there's not a Fortune 500 company in the world looking to hire a CEO in his 80s. So why would an 82-year-old Joe Biden be the right person for the most important job in the world?
Because I've acquired a hell of a lot of wisdom. I know more than the vast majority of people. I'm more experienced than anybody's ever run for the office. And I think I've proven myself to be honorable as well as also effective.
Biden's neither. He can barely keep a lid on a bribery scandal without the help of the entire system. Honorable is not really how I describe our exit from Afghanistan, or how his family stiffs a 4-year-old girl for child support, or calls half the country Nazis. And when's Biden proven effective? Prices are up, wages are down, the border is obliterated. 2/3 of the country now agrees Joe Biden's a mess.
Our brand new poll conducted with the Washington Post, it shows major challenges for President Biden. His approval rating's at 36%, a career low. This poll is just brutal for President Biden.
Absolutely, George. And you talked earlier about that record low approval rating for President Biden. It's actually 6 points down just since February. And the skepticism over his leadership extends deep inside his own party. Only 36% of Democrats think that their party should nominate Joe Biden for a second term. 58% say they would support someone else or prefer someone else.
Stephanopoulos looked like he saw a ghost. Sorry, George. The country agrees with Jesse Watters Primetime. The country's caught on to what we've been saying for the last 2 years. Biden's at 36% approval, and he's about to enter the summer from hell. High gas prices, no more Title 42, and some filthy bank records are about to come out. Not only that, another 2/3 of the country says Biden's shot.
A new poll out this morning from ABC News and the Washington Poll comparing mental sharpness of President Biden and former President Trump. Pretty stark numbers there. Do Biden and Trump have the mental sharpness to serve? 32% say he has the mental sharpness. 63% says he does not. That's not a good number for President Biden. Two-thirds of the American people say he's not sharp enough to be president.
Biden wanted us to watch him, and we did. He just said Memorial Day is this weekend.
Thank you, Secretary Buttigieg. Thank you all for being here. Please sit down. As we approach Memorial Day this weekend, and Memorial Day weekend, I'm rushing it, and a busy summer travel season.
Not only does Joe not know what day it is, but all the things going on in the country. Monday morning, he delivers remarks on baggage fees with Buttigieg. The president just doesn't have the pulse of the American people. And this has to scare the heck out of the White House. And now former President Trump opened up a 7-point lead over Joe Biden in the general. 7 points. But President Biden says nothing's his fault. It's the media's.
Why do you think your polling is where it is?
Well, I don't think people, by the way, every major one who won re-election, their polling numbers were mine are now.
Put polling aside then, right? Sentiment in this country, despite all these wins, is not very good.
I think all they've heard is negative news for 3 years. Everything is negative. And I'm not being critical of the press, but you turn on the television, the only way you're going to get a hit is if there's something negative. You don't, anyway.
Biden has gotten the greatest press coverage of any president besides Barack Obama on his honeymoon. The media doesn't touch his corruption. They cover it up and ignore the border, the crime wave, and inflation. And they spent the first 2 years of his presidency covering January 6th. Biden should be thanking the media. Biden's a wounded animal in the White House. Blacks, Latinos, independents, youngsters are ditching him. He needs a life preserver during an MSNBC interview. His son may be about to be indicted on Wednesday. Congressman James Comer and Senator Grassley are holding a major press conference revealing evidence that Joe Biden took bribes. And we'll have Grassley later in the hour to explain what he's got. Is the Biden protection racket going to be able to save him like it did in 2020, when everything had to go right for Joe Biden to win? When COVID put him in a bunker, the CIA, FBI, and big tech colluded to cover the laptop up, and the media triggered race riots? Now, the media knows exactly what's going on. Kamala's on deck, but Joe doesn't seem ready to let go.
You have officially announced you're running for re-election. And in your first video, you featured Vice President Harris 10 times. When Obama was in that position, he didn't mention you, sir. What are you trying to tell us?
Look, I just think that Vice President Harris hasn't gotten the credit she deserves. She was an Attorney General of the state of California. She has been a United States Senator. She is really very, very good. And with everything going on, she hasn't gotten the attention she deserves.
Critics would say you're elevating her because they think you wouldn't serve a full term.
This is all part of the plan, whether Joe likes it or not. But with numbers at 36% and down 7 to Trump, someone else is making plans. I think we know who.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.